Welcome to this edition of Government and Small Business. I am your host, Rochelle Thompson. Today our guest is Angela Denmark with DCR Denmark Court Reporting Agency, LLC. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you could make it on our show. We're glad to have you.
Thank you for having me.
And I would love for you to share some information with us about DCR Denmark Court Reporting. What type of services do you provide?
DCR Denmark Court Reporting Agency is an independent freelance court reporting agency. The services we provide are traditional court reporting, which you use for depositions, hearings, trials, and things like that. Also captioning and CART. CART is just short for Communication Access Real-Time Translation. That's a service that mostly students at maybe the University of Cincinnati will use who are hard of hearing and deaf. It's a court reporter that takes down what the instructor is saying for the hard of hearing student to read.
Oh, very interesting. Now, you told me that you recently located in Cincinnati.
I did.
So where are you located at?
My new office is located at 810 Sycamore Street, 319 on the 3rd floor.
Oh, good. Is that close to the old School of Performing Arts?
It's a perfect position because it's 1 block from the state courthouse and 1 block from the federal courthouse.
Oh, good.
It's right in the heart of Cincinnati.
And one thing about owning your own business, they always say location is key.
Exactly.
Location. So you're closely located to where all the business is happening.
Yes.
As far as courtroom proceedings and the need and work of court reporting.
Yes, and major law firms.
Well, tell me, Angela, how did you get started in this area, court reporting?
Well, actually, my sister Kim started before me and brought home the theory book. And she was on the couch, we were sitting on the couch watching TV. And I just happened to look at it and I read it out loud. And she said, "What are you doing? How do you know what that says?" I said, "It says it right there, but it's spelled wrong. There's something wrong with it." She said, "You're reading theory. You're reading court reporting theory." And I said, "Well, what is that?" Well, of course, I had to find out, and I started a court reporting school not very long after that. So I was reading theory before I knew what it was.
Okay. And it sounds like it's a really good match. It's your passion.
It is. I really enjoy court reporting. I love actually taking the proceedings down. That's, to me, the best part about court reporting.
Now, I understand that when you're a business owner, so let me just stay in this area first. So you found your passion, which was court reporting. And what about running your own business? How long have you been in business?
I've actually started DCR, Denmark Court Reporting, in October of 2006 while I was in Nebraska. But then when I moved to Hamilton in January, I started it here, continued it here.
Okay.
So actually a little bit over 4 years.
Now, how is business? How are things going for you?
My business is picking up. I'm really happy to say that it is improving. I'm learning a lot. As a small business owner, there are some things I just simply didn't know. But I'm learning, I'm getting a lot of education from the workshops that are put on by the African American Chamber of Commerce, the Urban League, the City of Cincinnati. I try to frequent all of those workshops and seminars and things like that because I learn a lot.
That's good. So the culture is, pardon me, the culture is there to assist small business owners, to give the coaching that is needed, the training that is needed. Have you found any of the training or the coaching specific to your business?
Well, as far as a small business owner and just getting started, I had the expertise as an official court reporter with more than 10 years of prime courtroom experience. So I knew that. But as a business owner, going to the workshops and going to the seminars and learning that you have to be registered with the state of Ohio. You need your SBE, your MBE, your EDGE, all of those certifications. And that's what I learned from the African American Chamber of Commerce, the City of Cincinnati, Urban League. And there was a coach at the Urban League, Sheila Nixon, I believe is her name.
Right,
Nixon.
right.
She's great.
Right, and now Sheila Nixon does the business.
She's the director of the.
Yeah, the business center.
Economic development, I thought.
Okay.
Business development center.
Right,
sorry.
business development center, which is they just started it. I think back in January.
Yes.
And they got funding from the state to do that.
Yes.
So I'm glad to hear that, and I understand that she's running that.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of businesses will benefit by working with Sheila.
That's good. That's good to hear. So now that you have your business and you've getting the business support that you need from organizations, and you contacted us and said, I want to be on the show, and we were happy that we could have you on the show because you're a go-getter.
Yes.
I mean, you are out there, you're marketing. We were able to use you at one of our hearings.
Yes.
And you did great.
Yes, thank you very much.
Pardon me, we loved the service that you provided.
Thank you.
And so we know that you can be an asset for other organizations that need court reporting services.
Yes, absolutely.
But they get a bonus when they get Denmark court reporting.
They do.
And I'll tell you why I believe this is when you got in the field before you started your own business, I understand that when you got hired to do court reporting, you were so excited, so ecstatic that you showed up on a job a week earlier.
I did.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I was so thrilled because in order to get hired as an official court reporter for the Hamilton County Courthouse, you have to test. And so I tested. And when I got the call, I was just thrilled to pieces, and I showed up on a Monday. And there was some snickering, and I thought, oh, I didn't think anything of it. And I was waiting in the lobby area, and they sent me back to the chief reporter. Her name was Brenda. And she said, Angela, I'm very happy to see you, but you're early. It's just a little early. Come back in a few days. I said, oh, she explained I had to start at a pay cycle, the beginning of the pay cycle.
Okay.
But I was just so thrilled because I had gone to school for court reporting and I wanted to do court reporting.
Right. So you've worked with some pretty big judges, I understand, or in some courtrooms. So, and when we're looking for businesses, when the city's looking for business or in any other organization, they want somebody based upon their experience, showing that they have a history, showing that they can produce the documentation that is needed.
Yes.
So give me a little bit about that experience. What have you done in this area of court reporting?
Okay, well, besides completing court reporting school and getting my certificate as a court reporter, I also passed the national test. There is a national test, a national organization called the National Court Reporters Association. Now, they set the standards, professional standards, ethical guidelines that we all follow, and they also test. This test consists of a written portion and a skills portion. In the skills portion, you're actually on your steno machine in a very sterile environment. It's very quiet, and there's a test on tape, and you have 5 minutes. The test is for 5 minutes, and you must get 95% accurate or you fail, which is the same as school. And so once you complete all of the skills portions as well as the education background, you then are awarded, or you get your registered professional reporter certification. And that is a certification that allows a court reporter to go into any court in the United States and its territories, as well as in Europe and other countries, because they accept it, and provide a verbatim record. When you have your RPR, they know you know your stuff, because you have tested, you are certified, and they are comfortable. That is what the RPR is all about.
Okay. Now, when you do your am I using the
transcripts?
Right. When you do your transcripts, if you have a client that don't agree with what you have there, the transcripts represent what was actually stated.
Yes.
Right. And so you can't change that.
No, you can't. The transcript is a legal document.
Okay.
And that is what goes into the court in the event that the case proceeds that far. But the court reporter takes a verbatim record of what is said during the proceeding. After the transcript is prepared, after that proceeding, if someone wants to, like the witness wants to review it for spelling of names, because some people may spell one name one way and another name another way, you can get a correction on that, that's fine. However, to make a content change, it's not possible. You cannot change what was said.
Okay.
It's just simply, the record stands, the record is what it is.
Okay. Are the hearings taped? Could there be an issue where I thought I heard this, someone else thought they heard that? So is it taped? Or
well, sometimes a court reporter can use a couple of backup methods.
Okay.
One method would be your paper. Another method would be an audio. And you can have audio support in some cases. And if you go back over, but when I went to school, your paper notes were where you went, and where you went for anything. They were it, because the way you're trained and the way your body reacts as a court reporter is you're automatically going to write what you hear. You're not thinking about what you hear, but you're actually going to just write it. As the instructor used to tell us, don't think about it. Just write what you hear. Okay. So that's why you go back to your paper notes to check if there's any kind of discrepancy. Okay. And then you can also use an audio to back up. And if the audio and if the paper notes agree, there's simply no change.
Okay. Now, I'm not much, I don't have any law background or anything like that, and I'm not in courts that often. So tell me what's happening with the bilingual, the different languages. You have somebody that's going before the judge that don't speak English or...
Well, there's a translator.
Okay.
They have a translator in court. When I was a court reporter in Hamilton County, they would bring in a translator. And the way it reads in the transcript is you would identify the translator as translator and write what the translator is saying. Now, if the witness who's speaking a different language occasionally uses English, which most of the time they switch back and forth, you would identify that witness and what they are saying, as well as what the translator is saying, because you must take down everything that's being said.
Okay. Now, as a court reporter, do you have areas that you specialize in? I don't know, like do you do more criminal cases, transcripts, business meetings, transcripts, or you cross the board and do it all? But do some court reporters have specialties?
Yes, you can specialize, but as a court reporter, you're trained to take everything, so nothing really can trip you up. I came out of the criminal court system. That's just where I started as an official in Hamilton County Municipal Court, taking everything from traffic, minor misdemeanor to first degree, not first degree, but to vehicular homicide. I also did felony court, district court in Omaha, Nebraska. I was an official court reporter there for over a year.
Okay.
Where I took those type of cases.
You're watching Government and Small Business. I am your host, Rochelle Thompson. We have Angela Denmark with us today. Continue to watch the show. Welcome back to this edition of Government and Small Business. I am your host, Rochelle Thompson. We have on the show today Angela Denmark with DCR Denmark Court Reporting Agency. You were mentioning before that a court reporter can specialize, yes, but you're very broad and general, yes, and can do legal court reportings, business committees, yes, and things of that sort. Can you tell me who some of your customers have been and what work you've provided for them?
Yes. I did a bid and was awarded a contract for the City of Cincinnati Law Department. I provided court reporting services to do their depositions. And I also work with Columbus, the state of Ohio. It's called the Department of Speech Pathology and Audiology. And I took their board meetings, which is kind of the civil side or a board meeting as opposed to a deposition.
Okay.
So
Okay. Now, you're using terms, and just for the lay person that's watching it, what's a deposition?
A deposition is a proceeding in which there can be a defense attorney, depending on, well, let me start this way. If it's a civil deposition, let's say, for instance, a discovery for divorce evidence, there will be two parties. And there might be the wife and the husband and their attorneys. The court reporter's there to take the proceeding, and the attorney for the husband or the wife might be asking any number of questions. That's a civil proceeding when you're talking about a divorce proceeding, a divorce deposition. A criminal deposition is one in which you have a prosecutor and a defense attorney and a witness. That witness does not have to be a defendant, but just a witness. And it's the same thing. They're trying to get information or discover information. And the court reporter is there to take that as well. In both of these proceedings, the court reporter swears the witness in because the court reporter is a notary.
Okay. Now, Angela, I know that you're very professional. So I'm just wondering, you probably have heard some real stories that may have made you say, "Whoa, pause for a second." What is that involved in your training to stay focused and not go off on a?
You do have to stay focused, but funny things happen because we're humans. So funny things happen all the time. But they trained us in school that if the judge laughs, then you can chuckle.
Okay.
But you can't have a crag up all over the place. You can't do that.
Right.
And I've seen some pretty funny. I was a federal court reporter in Kentucky, and there was an incident that happened. We were in an old courthouse, and it was a really serious trial. It had to do with guns, and the defense attorney was in a chair, one of the old chairs, and the judge said, "Counsel, watch that chair. I think it's broken." He said, "Okay, Your Honor," but he kept moving around in the chair during the testimony. The judge told him again, "Counsel, I think that chair is broken. Be careful." "Okay, Judge, no problem." Well, not long after that, you hear a big kaboom, and his chair flipped completely over. His socks and shoes were in the air, and the jury was having a good time. Well, you just kind of, bite the inside of your mouth and chuckle a little bit because although it was hilarious,
right,
you can't freely crack up laughing.
Do you have a preference of what type of transcribing you like to do? Is some easier than others, and if so?
Sure. Criminal work is interesting to me. It's just exciting. Medical malpractice, I've done quite a bit of medical malpractice in court as well as, in depositions, and that's kind of tough, but I can take anything, because the theory that you're taught, it's just like learning a new subject in class. And you do learn, as a court reporter, you learn something at almost every deposition, every jury trial, every day in court, you learn something.
So DCR Denmark Agency, Court Reporting Agency, are you the only employee?
For now I am.
Okay.
My goal is to grow my company with the help of, the City of Cincinnati and the other small business support organizations, so that I can not just hire court reporters, but hire staff, a support staff.
And see, that's what we need. Small businesses, they produce the most number of employees that we have in this country. So we want our small businesses to succeed and be around for several years, well, passing on for generation to generation.
Yes.
Do you have many competitors? Is it quite a bit of court reporters that business could be slow at times, or are you not surrounded by so much competition?
Well,
what is the market like?
DCR is unique in that I am an African American woman. My business is MBE, which is a Minority Business Enterprise certification, as well as EDGE, encouraging diversity, growth, and equity for the state of Ohio. So there is a movement or a change or a growth in the small business sector, within the small business sector, for female-owned, African-American-owned businesses. So I feel like I'm in a great position. I understand there is competition and that there are other court reporting agencies, but I consider them like my fellow court reporters. I can't cover everything, right. And neither can they. Right. And so I believe there's plenty of work. I believe there's plenty of room, but not just in the legal arena, because court reporters are expanding into what's called captioning.
Oh, tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, captioning is what you see on TV. You see used to be a little box with 2 C's on it. That is a court reporter in the background or at the studio that is taking down what's being said. It could be a news broadcast, it could be a soap opera, it could be a movie or a cartoon.
Right.
And a captioner, as well as a cart provider who, as I said before, provides those same services for a student that is hard of hearing and deaf. And so that area of court reporting is just really growing.
Have you gotten any contracts in that area?
Not in that area yet, but I'm working on it. What I do real time. Real time is a sister skill. I call it a sister skill to captioning and to CART, because in real time you're taking down exactly what is being said, but the great part is it's being translated into English so that another person can read it. Now I can read the steno, and that's fine for me, but for a court reporter that's providing real time in court, like I started in 2001, I think it was. My judge asked, what is real time? What do you think about it? And my response was, are you kidding? It's happening. Whoever's not doing real time, they're just not with it. It's happening. It's now. Well, I started doing real time like 90 days after that. And so real time is it's wonderful. It makes it possible for the court reporter to provide data, information, communication to anyone that's reading.
Okay, so you stay up on what's new, what's happening,
yes,
with the technology, so that someone that brings in DCR are getting a good value,
yes,
for the services that they need.
Yes.
It sounds very, very interesting. And that closed captioning, yeah, you do see that quite a bit. We
yes.
have it for our television program when our council meetings go on.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
Yeah, closed captioning. So that's another area I didn't think about. Small businesses or any business, it's about relationships. You have to deal, you have to get to know people. And Angela, it's so great to see that you're one that's go out and get to know people, because you work with who you know. And the city's not new. We're not the only one that do that. And we have an open door, transparent policy. But we're human.
That's right.
That run this organization. And sometimes departments will call on who they know.
I understand.
On a regular basis. So it's about relationships. And so I'm glad to see that you're out there. Have you been building new relationships with anyone, or maybe not to name names, but do you try to go out and go to the networking events? And
well, as a small business owner, I did go to the March Business Matchmaker. And I think it was in some part of Columbus just a few weeks ago, where you sit down with procurement officers. And I had been, this was my third year, I call it my third cycle. And some of them recognized me by, although I don't have a contract yet, I'm working on it. I remember you, Ms. Denmark. I said, okay, I just want to let you know that, when you select DCR as your court reporter, you're also getting the benefit of reaching your MBE and EDGE goal, because I am MBE and EDGE certified, as well as SBE right here with the City of Cincinnati, because I did a self-certification with this Contract Compliance Office, your office. And I got to tell you, that was seamless. It was great.
That is just so refreshing to hear. The small business community have been very positive, saying that they really like that we have a self-certification process. And I've heard that as it compares to other certifying agencies, that it's the most simplest one that they've come across so far. Was that your case?
Yes, I thought the City of Cincinnati's Contract Compliance Office SBE program, or SBE certification, was very simple compared to, say, for instance, the state level, where you have to provide numerous documents. Working with the Contract Compliance Office was great.
Wonderful. Now we do have a more cumbersome application process for companies that typically do much larger contracts, but the self-certification for the 50,000 and under is very efficient, very fast, very quick, and you're certified.
I did it online.
Good. That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. And we for the audience, we're not paying you to say this. No. And believe me, you have not been the only person that has told us that. So we're glad to hear that good feedback. Governments working with small businesses, the purpose of this show is to bring out information to small businesses, to highlight small businesses. Is there something else that governments can do that can assist small businesses? I know the main thing is give me a contract.
Yes.
In which we advocate, our Office of Contract Compliance, we advocate for our certified SBEs.
Yes.
Is there something else, pardon me, that we can do to assist small businesses?
Well, as you said, myself personally, I'm a go-getter. I do data mining. I get on the internet, see what I could find about contracts, and I start closest to me, which is Cincinnati, then I branch out. And so I don't know. I attend most of the workshops or the seminars, whatever is being offered. I try to attend. I have to tell you, I'm very happy that they're free.
Good.
That makes it, when you're a small business owner, every penny counts.
Yes.
When you're self-financing, so every dollar I earn goes back into my business. If I don't have to pay $200 for self-certification, that's great. You know.
Well, that's good.
That's more comfortable for me. So.
I am your host, Rochelle Thompson. You have been watching Government and Small Business with our guest, Angela Denmark. Thanks for watching the show. Angela, I want to thank you so very much for coming on the program.